All right. Um, Hopefully you guys can hear me, but anyway, good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, EU, and BTC. Um, so let me turn off this trend lines. So US 30 is bullish. I'm sorry, US 30 is bearish, gold is bullish, EU is bullish. I need to change this as of yesterday. Bullish. See. BTC is bullish as well, and the US dollar is bullish. Might turn bearish on the close of day today. Um, so starting off, so we need to wait for the first 15 minutes of market open before taking any trade, but these are some of the markups are done. US 30 tapped 1 hour supply, inner supply right here. But again, I'm still going to wait for that 945. Gold, I think there was a gold zone that tapped. I think, was it hourly? Yes, hourly got tapped in as well. 15-minute. But anyway, let's just go step by step. So US 30 here on the 15-minute, we have, let me turn on this zones again. 15-minute, nothing has been tapped as of yet. I think we're going to get one of these two, probably the buy on US 30. Yes. All right. Yeah. So yeah, the sell up here at 39,079. This buy has been mitigated, so this zone comes back all the way down here because I think we had that strong bullish push because I marked this up literally like 15 minutes ago. So the US 30 15-minute buy is no longer there. It's at 38,796. Um, yeah, nothing else. So that's a 15-minute. For the 30-minute time frame, this zone should still be static. They shouldn't have changed. Yeah, shouldn't have changed. We might get this. I think we're going to get a US 30 trade today. I think we're also going to get a gold trade today during the live session. So US 30, that's it. Gold is in a supply zone right now. But I would have taken the sell, but I need to wait for the first 15 minutes. But if you guys have any confluences for sells, gold is in a sell zone or supply zone right now. I prefer this 30-minute supply zone. It's ideally around the all-time high. So we haven't tested the all-time high. So if we test the all-time high, you can expect a quick rejection. And if it comes back down and then attempts to go back up, it's going to create another all-time high. Pretty much what we had on Friday when we took the sell on gold at the all-time high, achieved a break even, and then gold took us out at break even and continued creating an all-time high. So long as we haven't tested the all-time high, I think this sell at 2364.4 is the most optimal sell, but we do have a 15-minute supply zone that's currently triggered. Again, EU, I don't trade EU as much anymore. Nowadays with EU, I kind of look at the markups, right? So if any of this supply zones, and I think it's probably because I'm not used to trading EU, but one thing I've noticed, like yesterday, I think there was a supply zone somewhere around here where this consolidation is, but we had a daily bullish order block. So we had a daily bullish high. And that was just a mini red flag for me. But anyway, so with EU, I think today we have a 4 hour, I think there's a 4 hour, whatever is around this hourly order block. Not that. 1.92, 1.092 and 1.090. I think it's a nice sell area. Um, for Bitcoin, And we may get this buy on BTC on the 30-minute time frame at 69,620. The supply zone for BTC is pretty much around the all-time high for all time frames. For the 30-minute, we have some, if I turn this on, we have some here, but the way I analyze this, definitely these are inner supply zones, but I always look for the most optimal one. So I look for, if it's a sell, I always look for the one that's at the highest, and that's not divided or that doesn't have a white border within it. So that's how I ideally identify my inner supply and demand zone. So we definitely have supply for BTC between 72,000 and 70,000. But for me, the ideal sell inner supply is around 73,687, so which is next to the all-time high. So I think in any case, we'll probably get buys on BTC beforehand. So this US 30 on the hourly is pushing to the downside. Let's see what time it is. So 2 more minutes before we can take a trade. So right now I can start marking up these zones again. So this hourly US 30 supply zone that already triggered during market open, it's still a valid one. It hasn't been mitigated, hasn't been taken out. So I just created another alert there. So if price comes back up there, then I'll be looking to take that sell on US 30. For gold, here on the hourly, this candle, this supply zone is based off of one candle, but that's the only, let's see, 23.56. So the 30-minute is the most optimal one. But yes, at 23, what is this? 23.54, we have a supply zone on gold. So this is one of those trades you can either set a pending order or we've gone over this. So price has to break down, and then we have to expect price to go back up and create a crossover sell for us. So we'll see what happens when gold crosses 23.54. But the 30-minute supply zone, which is all the way up here around the all-time high, of course, is the most optimal one. But if I get this 23.54 one, I will probably take that as well. EU on the hourly price is so far away from the entry or from the entries, but I'm liking this sell or supply zone on EU. Let's see, US 30, give me 1 second. So that US 30 alert that went out, that was for the previous 15-minute zone that we took out or that was already mitigated. So it's no longer there. So ignore that alert that just went off. For EU, if we turn on the markups, so this one around here, 1.090, as I'd said, between 1.090 and 1.092, that's a nice sell zone for EU. And I'll take screenshots of this and send them to the group. So for the 4-hour time frame, this US 30 4-hour has been tapped in. So that's the one that US 30 is melting from. So since it has already been taken out, I go to the next zone, which is at 39,459. So we push this up here. And here. Oh, and what is it? The EU trade we took on Friday hit full TP. So that was a nice 1.5 gain. So I did say personally, any US 30 trade that comes before 12 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be taking with like a 0.125% risk. Any gold trade that comes during any time of the day, I'll be taking with 0.375% risk. But for these official trades, I'll continue using 0.75% risk to track them. So just a slight update on that. Yeah, but so we started off, I think this was a US 30 loss. We had a win on the last Wednesday and then a Friday win. So we'll just wait and see what triggers. Let me see, there was something on the hourly here for gold. So I'll take these screenshots in the meantime and send them to the group, and you guys can mark them up on your charts. And if you guys have any confluences, but do remember that if price comes to those zones, you do need to make sure that the confluences align. And remember that this zones or these markups do update in real time. So same thing that I showed you guys right there on the US 30 on the 15-minute time frame. Before market open, before market open, the zone was valid. After market open, the zone is no longer valid. So this is gold. Let's see. Yeah, so this here for gold to this 15-minute is invalid. Price mitigated that zone. So this comes all the way to, let's see. It's in here. It's a little hard to see, but it's in here at 23.64. So for the 15-minute and 30-minute, uh, give me 1 second. This is a little, yeah, 23.64 somewhere. Um, close this out. Let me redo gold on the screenshot. See this, Control V. EU. EU is still valid. The zones are still valid as is. And pay attention to the trade setups that come up post noon, post 12 p.m. Eastern time. Yesterday, there was a trade I took on US 30. It was like at 12:30 and it literally went to full. It did take a little while, but it did hit full TP in like an hour and a half. So I really like those trades that come up in the afternoon. They're pretty much high, especially for US 30. That's Bitcoin. Then you have, these are the hourly time frames. And you can see how US 30 took that hourly supply right there. But that zone is still valid. So if price comes back there, just have to make sure that the confluence is aligned for that sell or sell side push. This is the 4-hour. So let's see if we can get that US 30 buy and maybe a gold sell. So that those will probably be the only trades for today during the live session. So I did send those trade ideas to the group. So go ahead and mark up those zones on your computers or on your charts and see which ones you prefer taking. So let's see. So US 30. All right, so US 30. So let's see where we are. We're about to tap the 30-minute inner demand, so that's fine. Okay, no zones around here. 38,885. Let's see here. 38,000 885, 981. All right. All right. So here for US 30, I'll just prep my charts right now and just make sure. So I can already see where this is. So this is the 5-second time frame because that's where I enter my trades. So we need to break down below these alerts. And then we need to create a 5-second crossover buy or a crossover buy on the 5-second time frame. On the other hand, if you're impulse trader or if you use pending orders, your order for US 30 would be getting triggered right now. And I just need, all right, so we triggered both. And for this trade, personally, I'm going to use smaller risk because I've noticed that any time before noon, the US 30 trade setups are not the best. Let's see, this account, US 30. All right, so I need a crossover buy. So if you see a green X right there, that's where I'll be entering the trade. So, and my filler trades on this are 0.125. But on the recording the live session results, I'll still be using 0.75. But just make sure you're using the proper risk for yourself. And keep in mind, it does come pretty quick. Let's see, US 30. So not in yet until you see the green X. And again, right, this is why I like waiting for confluences, because if you did enter with like a pending order on or on impulse, you can see you could have been in some sort of drawdown. But of course, there are times it would hit like the entry area and reverse back up. But for me, I'm more of a conservative trader and just wait for those confluences or just something else. Even though it's on the 5 second or 10 second, I'm just waiting on that. See, I still have my top tier account. Yes, 30. It's not yet. And gold also is dropping. So we did hit that 2354. So this is going to be interesting. So 2354. So we need to create a crossover buy first and then create a crossover sell because it's already hit the entry. I think it was on the hourly. So there goes the green X crossover buy, which is what I'm waiting for US 30. But then that happened on gold. So right now for gold, for me to take a sell on gold, I need a red X to show up. And I hate having to do like 2 trades at a time. Still, let's see. And I really, yeah, this gold trade, I'm still, for this one, I'm not going to use a filler trade, but 2364 was my ideal selling area. But I've found that I have, for gold, I have a higher win rate than US 30, so I'm not, I don't have to do, and there goes the crossover sell. This is on gold. So I'm taking a sell on gold as well right now. Let's see. This is a bit tricky. Entering on all my accounts. So this is that crossover sell. And for US 30, still waiting on, and there goes the crossover buy for US 30. Um, see, US 30, this one is a smaller risk. Top tier account. What's this? US 30. Man, managing all these accounts is but anyway, so those are the entries. So that's for US 30 right there. And then again, this is for gold. So do remember for gold, 2364 is ideally better, in my opinion. But it still makes sense to enter this one. So those are the two entries right there. So for any of these entries, make sure always remember if you're at 1:1 risk to reward, go ahead and set break even. But I am at or in this positions as is right now. So if we go back here, let's see. All right, and also remember how I said this one is based off of one zone, off of one candle, but this one is based off of multiple candles. This 30-minute right there. So only thing, the reason I don't really prefer doing one candle entries is because if you have an opposing move, it can get mitigated in just like one candle or one. If you're looking for sells, and you're in a sell based off of one candle, off of a zone that was based off of one candle, if you have a strong bullish push, this whole zone can be deprecated or mitigated just by one strong bullish candle. But where you have overlapping zones within each other, you normally have higher probabilities for those entries. So let's go back in here. All right, so gold, let's see. So still in both, definitely in drawdown. Gold pretty much getting some bullish pushes. All right, 2354.012. I hate watching 5-second charts, so let me just transfer this here. 012. It's not the best to watch. Let's see. 54, 4.02 was based off of an hourly, 54.012. Okay. So that was the hourly entry, and I'll just follow it on here. I really don't like watching the 5-second time frame. US 30 was based off of the 30 minute. This is 38, 847.1, 847.1. This is the US 31, 847.1. All right. And now here as well for the 30-minute time frame, if I turn on this zones, I want to see. So one thing here for US 30 on the 30-minute. So the zones have been deprecated, right? So we had those overlapping zones that were right here. And now since we have strong bullish moment or strong bearish momentum, we really don't have any demand holding. So we didn't want, or I don't want to see those demand zones being taken out. So here for US 30, this is where I would say so if you use like a 0.125 like I did, yes, stay in. But if you use a heavier lot size, I would say start watching this one. The reason I'm saying that, the demand zones or the inner demand zones that we had here. So remember when I'm talking about you need to trade zones that are based off of multiple either supply or demand zones. So right here, we are only left with one demand zone right here based off of one candle, which means, and previously I think the other zones were based off of two. So we had a 3-zone overlap here, but 2 of those zones have been taken out because of this heavy bearish pressure. So if you did enter this trade using a larger lot size or larger risk, I would say maybe move your stop loss below this low or just set break even, because when you're trading this supply or inner supply or inner supply and demand zones like I do, you really don't want to see those your inner supply or inner demand zones being deprecated like this or disappearing like this. Because right now you don't really have a lot of support other than this huge demand zone that's only based off of one candle, and this can easily be taken out by one strong bearish move. So personally, I'm still gonna stay in because I'm again, I said for US 30 trades that come before 12 noon, I'll only be using a 0.125% risk. So that's not really gonna take a hit on my account. So I'm still gonna stay in on that. Gold I did enter using my normal risk, and I think I've gotten taken out of this gold entry. So the next stop for gold, I still think the 2364 area, which is a much better zone if you ask me. But anyway, so this one for gold was a loss. I took a loss on that on ideally all my accounts. So the only trade that I'm in right now is the US 30 trade. So even if I win this US 30 trade, is really not gonna, I think I'm still gonna be a little bit under for the day because I'm using 0.125 risk. This one for gold, I use 0.75. But anyway, so here for the official trades, that's just what's that? This is Tuesday, so minus 0.75. So here on this official trades, I'm still gonna be using 0.75. It's just easier for me to calculate and all. All right, so watch that 2364 area. And if this does come in, I will be taking it as well, 2364, for the 30-minute setup. And I will just record this for my own journal. All right, so if we recap this gold setup right here, or this gold trade, so this one again, based off of one candle. Yes, we do have another zone that's currently loading here as is, but an established zone goes all the way to the right, right? So you can see this particular box zone right here, it's still developing as candles move. But this ones that have stretched all the way to the right, it means that they have already developed. Now, compare this. So here, I consider this only a supply zone, and it's based off of one candle, this candle that's right here. This heavy bullish candle that's right here that created an all-time high and then came back down. So that's what that zone is based off of. But if we now go to the 30-minute setup and turn on the same things, you'll see that we have how many? We have one, if I zoom in here. So we have this one between 2360 to 23645. Actually, wait, 2360.6 to the high of this candle right here, 2364.262. And then we have another one that's based off of 2365.4 to 2361.36. And then we have this small zone right here that's 2364 to 2364.2 to 2364. So this right here, inner supply, it's based off of three candle overlap. So think of it as a game of chance. So you have more probability if you have same thing. If you have more confluences, it kind of gives you more confluences or confidence to enter a trade. So that's how I look at those inner supply and inner demand zones. So another way to look at it is you can still take trades based off of one candle formation, like supply and demand zones that are based off of one candle. But if you can use lower risk. So let's say your normal risk is 0.7% per trade. So if you still want to take a trade like this one I took on gold here, you can be like, okay, this one is, you can assign them like levels, right? So you can be like, okay, level 1 is like my lowest probability trade. And then you have like level 2 and then say level 3. So you can divide your risk like that. All right. So only US 30 right now. Also on the hourly time frame. So look at what happened on the hourly time frame. The hourly time frame as well on US 30, that inner demand zone has been taken out. So for me, the only if I was in this trade with like 1% risk, I would already be out of that trade at break even. But since I'm using 0.125% risk, the risk to reward would be in my favor because 0.125 is not going to hurt my account. But you can see even on the hourly time frame, you can see they took out that inner demand zone. So here on the hourly time frame, now what I do, I go ahead and look for the next area on the hourly time frame. And that will be all the way at 38,450, which is right here. So just watch your entries for US 30. I'm only talking to anybody who entered using a bigger risk and also took the L on gold. But if you use like smaller risk, that's fine. You should be fine. So I'll wait for this gold entry here. Hopefully we get it before the live session is over. And I think that will be the only trades for the live session. Let me go through them again. So the one we are in is based off of the 30-minute. On the 15-minute time frame, we have 38,796. Gold would still be around the all-time high, which is what I prefer. And BTC, the hourly setups for gold. So since this one got taken out, or we got stopped out of this trade for gold on the hourly, now I'm not looking to trade the same zone again, the 2354, because now I know It's based off of one zone and definitely was a riskier trade setup. So for this one, I'll just set this aside for now, and then I'll just wait for a new zone to develop. So I'm not looking for any sales on gold on the hourly and EU. Price is so far away from those zones. For US 30, price is far away, a little bit far away from on the 4 hour from any of this supply or demand zones. On gold, on the 4 hour, we didn't have any supply or demand zones. That's why I didn't even update this. So on the 4 hour, ignore where the gold entry is on the supply because I just set this one aside when I was marking them up earlier this morning. Same thing I just did for gold here on the hourly because we don't have any setup on the hourly. So I just, or I can delete it, but I don't want to delete and have to reapply it again. But there's no supply zone on gold on the 4 hour. And on EU on the 4 hour time frame, price is so far away from any of these zones. So let me know if you guys have any questions. US 30 is still running. What was it? Yeah, so this US 30 on the 30-minute is still running. Just remember, if you do get to that 1:1, you go ahead and set break even. Yeah. Mm. 2356, 2351, 2356, 651, 79, US 30, 38, 937, 37, 47, 9, 37, 47, 81, 37, 41, and 81. All right, 38, 97. Gold, EU, BTC. What? You know what? This US 30 buy actually looks good for a long-term buy. Um, long-term. We'll see. Steady gold EU. I'm just waiting either for this US 30 to get to 1:1 or waiting for that gold or for that gold entry. But if I get any of the two, especially this gold one, that's the one I'm hoping we get just like 40 pips away from that. Mm. 2354. 2364.3. One second. Yes. All right, US 30 is pumping. So make sure to set break even, almost at break even. I'm not at break even yet. Oh, I actually used the, okay, never mind. That was another account. Yeah, make sure to set break even when you're at a 1:1 for that. The reason I was saying it kind of looks for good for a long-term buy is if you go on the hourly time frame, if you go on the hourly time frame, we have a bunch of SAR levels here. If you look at the hourly. So I have another chart like to the left of my screen, and here we have like three of them right there on the hourly. And this also kind of does look like a bullish flag pattern. But anyway, I think it's a nice buy for a long-term buy, just at the very least to complete structure at 39.4, 39,400-ish. Yeah, at the top here, 39,400. I think it would be a nice long-term buy. So maybe it's something that if you do hit TP, you leave like a runner or something. Yeah, but go ahead and set break even on this trade. Yeah, all my accounts are at automatic break even. So this trade should be at break even. Let's see. For the trade locker account, I have to set this one up manually. It's annoying. See, edit position, then stop loss to break even. Um, all right. What else? So gold still isn't getting to 2364. See if we get this. All right, that goes gold. Hopefully get a push on US 30 as well. 30 minutes. That's the US 30 trade from that 5-second chart. 2364 would be almost there. This would be here at break even. And if you look at, so let me give some example here. So if we go to US 30 on the 5-minute time frame, so if you guys remember, like we've been in some gold trades, or I think mostly it has happened to us on gold, where either we've gotten out at break even or we've seen the price action on the 5-minute and then just gotten out of a trade. And mostly I think this one was for sales. So if say you're in a buy, what you want to see, you want to see higher lows being created on the 5-minute, and also higher highs, right? So what you don't want to see, so if here we were in a buy and then we started seeing lower highs on the 5-minute, like maybe the next three candles after we entered, they started going down or having wicks from the top and doing like lower highs. That's when say I normally say let's exit out, even to avoid the stop loss. And most of that, actually pretty much every time we've caught that, we've avoided a loss. But here for US 30, this one I would be willing to hold, because I do see it pumping up. Because if you look at the price action on the 5-minute, we are having, or we're starting to create higher lows here and possibly even higher highs. So this is why even I was thinking, or I was looking at it from a price action standpoint, this might be a good trade to hold for the long term, maybe for like 1,000-point move with a runner. But also, you definitely also want to look at price action on the 5-minute time frame as well. Especially if there's not too much liquidity in the market, most of the times that will give you a fair warning to exit the trade out before price reverses on you. So I don't, on gold, looking at my charts today, I don't think we had that. Price moved pretty quick on gold, but you can see here on gold, if we go down to the 5-minute time frame, we started having, I think the sell was right. The sell we entered was somewhere around here. But you can see these candles were pretty much huge to even for bear or for warn us that price action is reversing. But sometimes you'll get that warning, especially if price is moving slowly or there's not too much liquidity in the market. But for today, for gold, price just moved so heavy and we couldn't see that before we got stopped out. So gold is approaching that 2364.3. That's my sell zone for gold. So just do your math. Depending on if you took the loss on gold and US 30, you are at break even. If both of those trades maybe give you break even, maybe you want to start afresh with this gold trade, or you keep on holding the US 30 trade and also enter this gold trade, but just make sure you're not risking at like more than 2.5%. Oh, I'm sorry, that's even too high. You're not risking more than 1.5% in any given day. So you're not losing, you're not coming anywhere close to losing 1.5% in any given day. But if you've broken down your risk for trades during the day, you should be able even to take this gold trade. So, because like one idea is, as much as my risk for US 30 before noon is like 0.125, for any trade that comes after noon for US 30, my risk per trade is 0.375. So that's like 3 times the risk. So that's, and those afternoon trades are the ones that are highly probable for US 30. For gold, today I think it's that one candle formation, but gold normally is, I've found it to be pretty nice for these setups, regardless of whether it's before afternoon or in the afternoon. So for gold, I'm personally like doing like 0.375. So if you do the math, I think I give myself four trades for 0.375 and four trades for 0.125. And that gives me a maximum risk per day of 2%. And it does increase the number of trades I take to like 8 a day, or the maximum I can take, because I normally don't. Even nowadays, I take like 2 or 3. But I'm still risking like 2%, like how I used to do when I was doing 1% per trade. But I've just divided that into different trades and allocated that setup uh, to different trades at different times of the day. So for example, if this gold trade doesn't come and gold just decides to dump from here, I'm not gonna take any other trade for the day because price is so far away from all these other setups. See, we need to tap that 2364. US 30 is sort of ranging right now, so just back and forth on this US 30 trade. Let's see. Watch beat that BTC entry at 69,620 looks like it will be a nice entry as well. Actually, wait, for BTC, no, this has to go lower. So I'm revising BTC buy for the 30-minute time frame, revising it to 69,930. So that's the next area for BTC. So if you had already marked that up on your chart, just revise it down to 68,930. That would be the next area. 926, 930. So 926. The hourly still remains, 4 hours still remains. Right. I'll stay on for like 3 or 5 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. But US 30 is looking like it's coming back up, but also watch that price action on the 5 minute for US 30. I can tell even here for the 5 second time frame, we're starting to have lower highs right here. So watch the price action for US 30 as well. Still waiting on this somewhere here. Let's go here to the 5 minute. Right? So again here, this is one of just those huge candles that might come up and not really give you a sense of if price action is shifting. But that one, so this one is out at break even. I just got tapped out at break even as well on my accounts. So that one's a break-even trade for US 30. So right now, I think for me, the only other trade I'll take today is that gold trade if price does go back up there. But this US 30, if you held, that's just a break-even trade right there. Let's take a screenshot of this. Mm. All right. Um, yeah, I don't think this one is gonna come during the live session. I have to drop off, but unless it comes during the last few minutes, let's see, because price action is just going up and down. But US 30 right now looks like it might start a huge descent. So I know we have this 15-minute. Um, give me 1 second, let me see. I don't think I want to be part of this because we have like strong bearish pressure coming in. But let's see if those zones do hold. Um, Yeah, so that 15-minute zone has been taken out, right? So you can see that inner zone has been taken out. So which is why you find me trying to identify these heavily clustered areas. So that one has already been taken out. So I wouldn't even be looking to take that 15-minute. So I go ahead and look for the next lowest one, which is right here. This one, I like this one, but it's not the most optimal one because if you look at the first candle that created that zone, it ends right here. So you don't want candles overlapping into other candles or zones overlapping into other zones. What I mean by that is when identifying where your inner supply or inner demand is. So yes, this one right here is an inner demand zone, but the one below it is a better inner demand zone, right? But if you keep going that way, right, you can never get like a place to end. So what I normally look for, areas where there's a divide. So there's like a white space between all these zones. So those are my division areas. So if I don't have any, I keep going until I find any. And the next one is all the way right here, this white zone that's separating all these zones at between 38,320 and 38,327. So from there, then that's my low if I'm looking for buys. So I look for the next inner demand or inner supply zone within there. And if I'm doing that for US 30, my next buy zone at US 30 is 38,388, and that's on the 15-minute time frame. So by doing this, I get lesser trades during the day, yes, but most likely I get better trade setups. And given that this is US 30, we can have price can drop all the way down here to the afternoon session. So remember, the afternoon session, especially for US 30, is a very, very nice session if you're doing say supply and demand. So for me here on the 15-minute time frame, I'll just go ahead and wait for price to come here whenever it does, whether it's today, whether it's later on. And for the 30-minute time frame, let me see what other zone is there. So for the 15-minute time frame, just update this on your charts because I'm not going to send this out. 38,388 for the 15-minute time frame. And for the 30-minute time frame, it's US 30. For the 30-minute time frame, same thing. So this is the next white. I don't even think this is a white space. Give me 1 second. Okay, and gold is at that 2364 area. So that was based off of the 30-minute. Oh, all right. So 2364 area. All right, so just know here you're trading the all-time high, and there it is. See, for gold 2364. It's this one. All right. So there goes your crossover sell entry or crossover sell, that 2364 area. So this red X right there. So 1:1 set break even for that setup. So this will be the last trade for the day. Let's see, give me 1 second. Yeah, but I'm in that gold trade from that crossover sell. BTC also. All right, and there it is. I think I'm at a 1:1 for this trade. Just and you can see that dump on US 30 as well. So I think this one will come later on in the afternoon. This trade setup right here for US 30. So gold, make sure, remember, set break even. So I did say gold, there's no lowering risk for me. I like the supply and demand setups for gold. So go ahead and set break even on gold. If you are at 1:1, this should be 1:1. So depending on if you had slippage or not. So remember, it's always that crossover, right? That crossover entry. So either a red X for sales or green X for, so you should be, and there goes gold. So you should be automatically at break even. So my two main accounts are automatically at break even, but for the top tier account, I have to manually do this. Let's see. Oh, wait. All right. So that's 300. It's my draft TP, edit position. Top tier account. I had to close manually. And there goes gold. So full TP on gold, full TP on Mac. So that would have gotten you back the loss we took on gold earlier. So it was a quick one. And that's a nice sell for gold. So this one was 2362.782. 2360. And look at that, right? Exactly at the place. So 2362.782. Right. So just remember the comparison. This one had like 3 overlapping areas. The one we took the loss with had 1 overlapping area. And this one, just do that. And let's save this. Trade, save this, copy. Stat plus 1.5%. All right. So this brings us out of the hole and gives us a gain of 0.75% per trade. Let's see. All right. So one thing to note, and this is if you're using, and let me, if I didn't clarify it enough like the other time, if you're using zero, so previously, even for me, I was doing like 1% risk per trade before the month of April. That was before we went back to the supply and demand strategy. So I was using that pretty much because, for example, the SAR strategy gives us or was giving us like 2 trades a day. So that was good for somebody who's only taking 2 trades a day or 1 trade a day, right? Because if you're only taking 1 trade a day, you probably don't want to risk 0.125 because that's a little too low. So risking 1% per trade for me was good. But now when you have markups that give you maybe 8 entries a day or 6 entries a day, you really don't want to say continue risking 1% per trade, because what that means is that you can probably start over leveraging, revenge trading, etc. So the best thing with the SAR strategy I found, it helped me like avoid FOMO, avoid revenge trading, because it only gave me like maybe 3 trades a day and that was it. So, right, I wasn't always on the screen. But the supply and demand strategy will give you a bunch of trades, because keep in mind, you have your 15-minute time frame, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and these zones keep changing. The best thing with the SAR strategy, the zones really didn't keep changing. You had to wait for new SAR levels to be created. So maybe as well for you guys, if going forward, if I'm taking a US 30 trade before the live or during the live session, because all live sessions are gonna be before noon, maybe use like a smaller risk, right? And then use the zones I mark up and watch any of those zones for US 30 post the live session or post 12 p.m. and then now use the higher risk for those. But I think for gold and this, right, and I showed you guys when I was back testing my and this is my journal, right, for my main account. When I was back testing, I found that for gold, I had a better win rate regardless of the time. So and gold was my best performing asset. But when it came to US 30, I had like uh heavy losses before noon, and in the afternoon for US 30, that's when my wins were. And again, this is another reason why I told you guys it's nice to journal your trades and get like a journaling software. For me, I use Edgewonk. Again, I'm not affiliated, but I think it really helps you see what you're doing with your trading, because I wish I had this access, or I even knew about journaling software when I started trading like 3 years ago. But what the software does, it kind of tells you like when are your best trading times. Like for me, if you ask me, I'll tell you that, okay, Monday and Friday are like my worst performing days in trading. And then it will also tell you that, okay, pre-noon for New York, it's not good to trade US 30 for me, but post noon, it's my profitable day. But then on the other hand, gold, I can trade gold whenever I want because it's pretty much profitable. So, and like for this software, it's only 169 a year. So I think the value you get from seeing all these statistics for you, I think it's well worth the 169. So again, watch this level again, 38,388. Let me mark the 30-minute level. So the 30-minute zone is at 38,000. 38,542 for the inner demand area for US 30. So that's the next stop for US 30. And this can be a nice trade, 38,542, because I do see this one can end up at break even, because I do see them coming to stop hunt the people who are trying to buy US 30 here, which is again why I'm not using. Yes, this one is an inner demand zone, but which is the most optimum between these two, and where is your white border? So the white border is here. So this one is better. So I do see them doing some stop hunting, but here, yes, this one is also an inner demand zone, 38,590, but I would rather take the most optimal one, which is 38,542 if I was to trade it. The 15-minute one gives you a better entry. But that's pretty much it for today's live session. I'll be a little also cautious with those one candle entries. I do like higher time frames. So another reason I took that trade that we ate the loss in for gold was also because it was a high time frame entry. So if it was a low time frame entry, I wouldn't have taken it. But even personally going forward, definitely I'll also still be more cautious. So I won't be taking any one candle formations, even though they are 1 hour or 4 hour. But other than that, that should be it for the day. Hopefully you guys had a good day. You should be up for the day, even though you took the loss with gold on me. You should still be up based off of that win on gold. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. All right. See you guys. Peace.